Welcome to Sports Talk with Steve Jones, the daily talk show with the voice of Penn State football and men's basketball. You never know what special guest may stop on by any given day. Now here's the man of the hour, Mr. Steve Jones.
Go back in conditions last night that reminded me of you.
Hazy and lack of
dense fog.
Dense fog. I was close.
Come on, don't you wish you came up with these lines? Come on. Now, I don't know what they can see here. We have a Christmas tree here in the back.
Yep.
Okay, now the Christmas tree has been sitting here for 2 weeks in this condition, which is fine. The ornaments have been sitting here. Okay, we have ornaments. Okay, right? Ornaments. These ornaments have sat here for 2 weeks. Today, dramatic progress was made. Hooks.
The hooks are in.
Okay. So, okay, this place does things at its own pace. It's unbelievable. Okay, so we get the last night first. There are 3 areas where you can win or lose a game. One is the obvious one. That's at the end. Everybody remembers the end. SportsCenter is built around the end.
Absolutely.
SportsCenter is built around the end and spectacular plays, even if they mean nothing to the final score.
Yeah.
Okay? That's SportsCenter.
Yep.
Okay? But there are 2 other times you can win it or lose it. One is the under 12 to the under 8 in the second half. There's your positioning moment there. Like, uh-oh. Okay, we can put the game away now. Uh-oh, we're in trouble. We lost ground, and there's now less than 8 minutes to play. And the other one's the first half. Nobody ever talks about that. Really. I mean, my goodness, who'd want to talk about the first half of it?
It's never how you start, it's how you finish. That's how we're always
right.
taught.
Exactly. And Penn State in the first half didn't play well enough. That's why they fell behind by 15. That 3-point shot at the end of the half, I even said to Dick in the broadcast last night. Penn State's down 2, had the ball, and I said, boy, that 3-point shot in the first half. I said, we said it was an important sequence at the end of the half, like couldn't be down 15, and they were down 15. Well, say they defend it. Suddenly you've got the ball. You're up 1 with the ball. Changes everything at the end. So, again, last night was a night where the first half is the reason that they're 8-2 right now. I mean, they fought back in the second half. They showed a lot of guts. They played a lot better. They played like the Penn State team that there was 3 straight possessions. Yeah. They forced turnovers, things like that. So that was one of those where you sat back and went, okay, that looks like the Penn State team we are used to seeing. Now, you got Coppin State. Now, the next 3 are all non-cons. Coppin State, then a week from, that's on Saturday at 12:30. Then a week from Saturday, Drexel, which will be opposite the football game. And then December 29th, Penn. Then back to the Big Ten in the Jordan Center on January 2nd against Northwestern. So that's where they are. Can't afford any stumbles before the Northwestern game. These are 3 games where you're the prohibitive favorite. Probably the best of the 3 is Drexel. And I'll see. Look at a picture of Candlestick Park. How about that? Yeah. You ever been to Candlestick Park?
I have never been to Candlestick Park.
I've been to Candlestick.
Never there.
I've been to Candlestick Park and dropped your name, and they pointed to your picture on the wall. Do not let this
not
man
allowed
in.
back in.
Do not.
Either that, or they put me on those obstructive view seats where Colin Cowherd used to say the famous word Alcatraz has better sideline.
No, Bill Walsh said, "Don't let that dude in." Like, okay, that's fine. So that's what happened with them last night. Ace is going to have a night where he had 7 assists last night, but he's going to have a night where he doesn't shoot well. This ticky-tack foul that was called in the first half, in the second half.
Second half on the,
Right. it led to him eventually getting 4 fouls. Now, he never fouled out. Excuse me. He never fouled out. But it's a guy, like, there's no need to call that foul.
No.
Like, look, okay, the other 2 guys didn't call it. Like, the 2 better officials on the court. What does that tell you?
Mm-hmm.
You can't call that. Hey.
But you're always
But you live with it.
Yeah,
So
absolutely. You're always taught to not, if they're on a fast break or the pace of the game is intensified, you're always taught, unless there's hefty contact, to let them play. That's a spot where you just, I agree with you. You just don't call it.
No, let's just stop interrupting the flow of the game
Right.
for ticky.
That's what I mean. Yeah, the flow of the game is pretty much interrupted by it.
Stop.
Absolutely.
Okay. But yeah, that's But that's the reason they lost was not because of that. The reason they lost is quite simply because of what happened in the first half. It just dug them too big a hole. They had to play uphill the entire second half. They got themselves into a position where they had the ball with a chance to tie or take the lead, which after the way the first half played out was all you could ask for. And maybe you can then end up, because you could tell 6 minutes to go, Rutgers is playing the clock.
And struggled doing it.
But they're playing the clock. They're playing not to lose.
Yeah.
Like, okay. Now, Harper and Bailey. Said to be 2 NBA players. Harper has a beautiful game. Yeah. A beautiful game. He's a decent defender. He is a fabulous passer. He made a 30-foot bounce pass last night, a backdoor cut that was just terrific. And, of course, his ability to score. Now, as for Bailey, 6'10", he is a 38% three-point shooter. But he needs to do a better job of, quote, playing with others. The ball sticks when it gets to him because he really doesn't want to give it up. But he'll get to the NBA next year anyway because there are not many guys at 6'10" that can shoot the ball that well. He also had 15 rebounds last night. His length did make a difference. Penn State just killed itself on layups last night.
Uncontested on a couple.
Okay, Rutgers does not have rim protection. No. And they acted like somebody was going to fly out of nowhere and get them. They weren't going to get you. You have to be smarter than that. And I think they were, 8 of 19 on layups? 8 of 19 on layups in a game you lose by 4. Yikes. So, Coppin State played NC State last night, lost 66-56. They are here Saturday at 12:30. We're on beginning at noon. All right. So, of course, the playoffs coming up. I already explained to everybody, I think I explained to everybody why the game is at noon. I brought up in my class today, I said, yeah, because they want to get to Penn State. I said, no, it's not the reason. They want them opposite the Steelers. And everybody went, oh, because the NFL, it plays a role in what they were trying to do. So they tried to keep Texas away from being opposite against Houston, the Texans, and they tried to keep Penn State from being opposite the Steelers. That's, had a lot to do with how they scheduled it. And that's, there actually is some logic to it. It's not logic people want to hear, but no, there is logic to it. Let's see. SMU play-by-play guy got a hold of me. God, he doesn't like you. I didn't realize your reputation.
Jason said quite a few things about Dallas over the years that did not go over very well.
Yeah. Oh, boy. Oh, boy.
It usually involved the team with the star on their helmet, though. It didn't involve anybody else.
Your reputation's a killer. You know that? It is. It's a killer. All right. Army-Navy is this week. And this is the 125th game. And not only that, the two teams are really good this year. Are they great, awesome, and incredible? No. I mean, Notre Dame showed that when they played them. But this is, the first Army-Navy game was played in 1890, right? That's when Thaddeus Lord, it's a relative.
Not that I know of. I should take credit for it, though. I always took credit to Jack Lord and John Lord.
Announced the game. He was the color analyst.
Nice.
But yeah, it's Navy's 8-3, Army's 11-1, or should it be 12-1, right? No, they're 11-1. 11-1 because they haven't played Navy yet. 11-1. They just won the American title, and it's the 125th game. The game is going to be played, by the way, in Landover, the home of the Commanders. And this is not a football story. It's a basketball story. But I remember talking with Ed DeChellis once, and I've told this story before, but it's worth repeating. There's only X amount of time you can have with the players because of the schedule at the academies. So Ed was telling me that for basketball, he gets 2 hours a day. And one day, bright sunny day, not a cloud in the sky, 180 of the day we have today. One of his players walks in soaking wet. Ed looks at me and goes, "What's your deal?" He says, "SEAL maneuvers in the river." See you at practice. That's what they do. That's what they do. Right? And then they go out and play football on a Saturday or basketball, whatever sport it happens to be, while fulfilling all of these obligations so they can leave an officer. And they play this game. They call it America's game. It is, in a world of NIL and transfer portals and so forth, it brings you back to the roots of the game.
Yeah.
The roots of the game.
Absolutely.
The roots of the game. Because, look, the other part is here to stay. There's no getting around. It's here to stay. The money that they'll have to pay out next year, for example, a lot of that's going to be roster retention money. Your ability to retain your own roster. That's what Ohio State did with a lot of their investment money last year in NIL, was roster retention, besides transfers. Although 65% of their money went to transfers. But, these guys, no. You don't go to Navy and transfer to Navy because you want their NIL money. Army? No. No. Nope. And the Army quarterback, have you seen him play?
Yeah, I have. Yeah.
He is some player.
Good. Yeah.
Man, he is some player. And in this game, what time is this game on Saturday? It's 3 o'clock?
3 o'clock, I think, yep.
3 o'clock. So after the Coppin State game's over with, that's what I'm going to be watching, will be that game. Because I think it's, I haven't really had a chance to watch it too often in recent years because a lot of times I've had a game that was opposite that game. This time, no. And so I'm going to take the time to watch it on Saturday because first of all, I'm going to have the ability to kick back and do whatever because the game I'm broadcasting with Dick Girardi will be over, and B, in case you're wondering, I already have the SMU game prepared. So I'm going to just relax. Now, I do have to talk to the SMU play-by-play guy today. I probably should get him on the show next week. Now we'll edit out all the
insults.
Well, no,
the insults that involve my name, not.
No, I would tell you, I wouldn't call them insults. Some of them are really factually based. So I don't really know how to phrase it right. No, that's actually true. No, that's true. No, that's actually true. These are your people out there. They love you. They love you. Yeah. They think you're special. They do. Maybe not. Maybe not. Okay.
I like that they've moved the Army-Navy game a little bit.
Well, last year was in Foxborough.
Yeah. It was in Foxborough. Going to be a MetLife or M&T Bank next year, then MetLife the year after, and then probably make its way back to Philly, I'm sure. But I do like that they moved it around a little bit.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's coming up on Saturday at 3 o'clock. It's the last regular season game. Transfer window, quarterback attrition, amazing as always. In fact, did you see the backup quarterback for SMU who started the season before Jennings took over? Has put his name in the transfer portal, but will be available for the game on a week from Saturday. I mean, he had been the starter. I mean,
the first season. Yep.
Well, he started for them last year too. Do you know anything about this team?
I do. I do. Done my homework a little bit on them. Yes.
Are you sure?
I'm pretty sure.
You haven't offered anything yet that shows. I mean, to you, Eric Dickerson and Craig James are still there. What?
I'll tell you what. That's why their running game is as effective as it was. Now I see.
Yeah, the Smith kid was a former wide receiver at Miami. They moved him to tailback. He's played really well for them.
Yeah,
really well.
Jennings has the ability to fool you too. I mean, his mobility helps that, obviously, with the pocket presence, but also it's not necessarily a fake slide like Mahomes' trick he loves to do, but he can roll out. You feel like he's going to run for 10 yards, and he'll zip it down the field. That's the one thing that I think is most dangerous to me about him.
He's 9-0 as their starter.
Yep.
Again, he's 66% thrower. Threw for 3,000 yards. But what's interesting is that, especially in the outside areas, teams have run the ball on them.
Yeah.
Their interior or their defensive line is very good. And teams have thrown the ball on them. So, and by the way, the place kicker, I've never seen this in my life. Never. He's 8 of 10 inside of 40. Okay, that's fine. Right? That's fine. You want to know what he is outside of 40? 15 of 21. 15 of 20. He's attempted 21 field goals beyond 40 yards.
Jeez.
You made 15 of them. But you're like, you've got to be kidding me.
Good Lord.
Never seen that before.
No, that's and we're even in a world now, especially NFL, where people are kicking 57, 58-yard field goals. I don't think even a pro team has attempted 21.
I mean, God. Amazing.
Good Lord. Yeah.
I mean, I was like,
that's
15 of 21. Because I saw like the base number. I was like, oh, okay, that's fine. He kicked a lot of field goals this year. He kicked 31 field goals. That's a pretty decent number of 13 games. And then I'm like, okay, let's break it down. I went, oh my goodness, really? Like 50. His long is 55, by the way. I was like, you gotta be kidding me.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever seen anybody have that many attempts beyond 50 yards. My guess is Notre Dame and Indiana is going to get a huge rating.
Yeah, there's no question.
On Friday night. And it's going to be huge. Notre Dame, prime time, playoff game.
Yeah.
It's going to be, I think the ratings for the entire weekend are going to be big. I mean, really big.
I agree, and there's no doubt. And you also have even the two games on TNT. Number one, they're great games, obviously. But you do have the streaming aspect of it and the television aspect of it, where you can combine the two because you have Max. It's going to stream the two games. So I think that's going to help the ratings there, too.
Oh, goodness gracious. TNT's not everywhere. It's not
no,
like
that's what I mean. That's why you have the streaming now. And so I think that's going to be huge. Obviously, with Notre Dame, look, you knew beyond a shadow of a doubt. Like I said the other day, network has a chance to get a game in Notre Dame Stadium, and that network's not NBC. They're getting it. So that was why we were going to see Notre Dame under the lights. There's no doubt, and it's obviously going to be a huge rating because you're seeing a playoff game at Notre Dame Stadium for the first time.
Yeah. These are all your people. You know, it's you'll be rooting for Notre Dame like you usually do.
Oh, jeez. So that's never...
Oh, you're just.
And I idolized the quarterback that was the starter there for years.
Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah. It's a great time to have it.
Yeah.
For the playoff. They should have done this years ago.
I agree.
I don't, college football. You know what's held back college football? The administration of college football.
Yeah.
And, you know, we talk about bold moves in games. I'll give you a bold move. Okay. As we talked about James with the fake punt against Minnesota, bold, right? The last time Penn State played SMU was in Beaver Stadium in 1978. I'm at the game. Penn State is losing the game. They're on their own 29-yard line, 4th down and 1, and Joe went for it. And they got it. Turned the whole game around. Penn State scored the rest of the points in the game, 126-21. But on 4th and 1, 4th and a little bit less than 1, 4th and less than 1, at his own 29, Joe went for it. Like, you want to talk about, I thought.
Yeah. At that time especially.
I thought to myself, man, that's guts.
Yeah.
All right?
Yeah.
Now, do people remember that? Of course not. All right, so that's why I have this show. But it was one of those like, oh, he's so conservative. No, when he needed to go for it, he went for it. Well, that was one of those, because Saban did the same thing against Penn State in 2011 in Beaver Stadium with Trent Richardson. And Richardson didn't make it, and they gave him a spot that was like, you got to be kidding me. You gave him that spot?
Yeah. It's twice because they did the fake punt.
Yeah.
And, absolutely was not. Carson made the tackle. He was short.
Yep.
There's no doubt.
That was, by the way, I believe SEC officials get this game.
They do. Yeah. They have to get both, I believe, on Saturday.
Yeah. So.
But both Big Ten games Saturday.
Yeah. Which is fine. That's great. I mean, as long as they keep the down straight, I'm good.
That's.
Ooh.
You mentioned Joe would have been birthday number 98 on Saturday, too.
Yeah. Oh, I know.
Always wanted a playoff.
Yeah.
Finally, there is one in Beaver Stadium.
On his birthday, no less.
Yes.
So there you go. Yeah. Well, it's about time that they did this. I'm thrilled they're doing it. Penn State's in it, which is really cool. Really cool that Penn State's in it. So, and it's a whiteout. You can actually say it's a whiteout, too, which is kind of neat. They can actually say it instead of whiteout energy or things like that. I remember somebody was making fun of the whiteout energy thing. I'm like going, it's a legal thing, right? They're like, oh. I said, so in other words, before you go on and say something stupid.
Statements that sound idiotic.
Stupid. All right. Where somebody's sitting at home going, you're not that smart, are you? I tell the students in my class all the time, do your own work.
Well,
don't have everything handed to you, like that shirt.
That's right.
There's no way in heck you paid for that.
Oh, I think I did, unfortunately. They made me pay for it. But
P.T. Barnum was right.
But no, and I agree with you, and that doesn't just tie to Penn State. I remember years ago, American Pharaoh had different spelling on his name, and somebody made a massive deal online. I can't believe the amount of idiots that misspell American Pharaoh. This is hilarious. Well, guess what? They were spelling it right. You were the idiot.
Of course. Yeah. It's going to be a whiteout. It's going to be at noon. Again, they did not rip Penn State off by they're the noon game. They did not. They don't want them opposite the Steelers game. Okay? Right. They don't want Texas opposite the Texans game. Because the NFL, with playing on Christmas, is playing two games. On Saturday.
Which I honestly think they could have played Thursday and should have played Thursday and moved the 49ers-Rams to Saturday or Sunday and prepared, given the Chiefs and Steelers almost a week to prepare, is what I personally think they should have done. But
I think the 49ers and Rams, in all likelihood, should be a game on the CW.
CW?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's still TV. Might want to move.
But nobody has it.
Nobody has it. But no, I think I go back to, and I understand playing games on Christmas Day. I really do. And obviously, you're going to have a massive audience, even though they're not on TV. But
are you going to do the Netflix thing?
I don't know. I might do the trial, but I still don't know if I want to subscribe to a streaming service. I do have to, and one I don't want to get with another subscription.
This is going to be one of those where I will do it, but man, I will drop it.
That's what I was thinking. I might get a free trial and drop it or something like that. Yeah, that's because obviously that game's going to be, and that's going to be the first. I think Steelers' first game that day.
Yeah, it's a 1 o'clock game.
Yeah, that's going to be so that'll be obviously going to be a game. Home field advantage could be at stake. The Chiefs we'll see what the Chiefs do this week. See what the Eagles do this week, or the Eagles and Steelers do this week against each other.
Should be an interesting game.
I think so. Steelers' next couple of games are going to define a lot of. Not necessarily who they are,
let's start with this. The Steelers have put themselves in a position where they've created enough cushion where they could stumble and still be in great shape.
It's stumble, but you don't want to stumble twice because you're going to have the Ravens only 2 games behind you, where that could be a problem. But yeah, no, they're in great shape right now with only 3 losses.
So
and I think they're a much better team with Russell Wilson at quarterback. I think it's very obvious.
You're right.
You have that veteran leadership, which I don't think you have. Fields is good. He's not great.
No. The difference is when I look at Fields versus Wilson, we all know that Fields can run. Yeah. We know that.
Right.
When you watch them actually throw the football, Fields has really essentially, for the most part, one speed and one trajectory. Wilson gets the ball, gets a little air, gets it over a linebacker, gives the receiver on a deep ball a chance. And then when he has to throw the ball, he may not have the same fastball as Fields, but it's a pretty good fastball. And when he has to drill it, he drills it. He just has more variety in terms of how he throws the ball. And the experience makes a big difference. Big difference. But I give Wilson credit. He's played really, really well. And they've got the Eagles on Sunday. Again, my question about Philadelphia is still Jalen Hurts.
That's a big part. I think Hurts and Sirianni both. I think those are the 2 biggest question marks on this team. Yeah, coaching decisions are still very questionable, in my opinion, with this team. They should have beaten Jacksonville by 35 points. They were an game-sealing interception away from losing that game. Yeah. There's no excuse for that, and the decision-making on coaching is what cost them that game. But yeah, Hurts has struggled. You have a closer now, though, I think, with Barkley, which helps.
Well, Barkley's changed everything for them.
In big way.
I feel like with Hurts, there are times where he is ultra careful with the ball because of the turnovers last year. So I wonder at times how aggressive he actually is with the plays he's attempting to make. It's not like he's throwing a lot of interceptions. And he's not. But I don't know.
He's taking a couple sacks that you don't want to take either. He's out of the pocket. He can throw it away, and he's taking a couple sacks.
Because he doesn't want to throw an interception.
Exactly.
I mean, so you're a little bit, quote, the football lingo of gun shy. And I think Hurts is good, but he's not great. Barkley's great.
Barkley's one of the top 2 or 3.
That offensive line is great.
Even losing Kelsey, I thought Juergens has stepped in and done a great job.
Well, they did a good job, though, of getting Juergens ready to do this. He started guard.
Yep.
Moved him over. He's been terrific. Paul Posluszny went into the Hall of Fame last night in Las Vegas. It was great to see Sean Lee show up there last night. It was great to see LeVar Arrington show up there last night. It's part of the LBU legacy there. Posluszny was as fine and all-around 3-down linebacker as you're going to find in college football. Great tackler, pursuit, speed, quickness, his ability to play the pass.
Yeah.
I mean, he could play the pass. He was really terrific at playing the pass. And it made such a difference. I remember, I think it was against Indiana when he was, I think, a freshman, because he was wearing 39 at the time, not 31. He picked off pass, ran it back for a touchdown. And that play he made in 2005 at the goal line of Maroney, where he just gave his body up and at the goal line and just decked him, was tremendous. And then against the next week with Ohio State, Troy Smith, right, scrambles to his right and starts to run. And to the credit of Paul, he tracked him down and took him down for a loss. It was just a great player, great linebacker, terrific person. Posluszny is as good a guy as you'd ever want to be around. And thrilled for him. He earned his way into the College Football Hall of Fame. Awards week is this week. We should find out this week about the Mackey Award, the Bednarik Award, the Nagurski Award. Then, of course, there's the Heisman Trophy. You have, 8, 9 votes for it?
Yeah.
It's all under assumed names. What do you think?
I think the Heisman is going to be the interesting one. To me, if obviously I have a Mackey vote, you know where it's going. I don't think there's any question.
Well, that's yeah.
But and I think when you look at what's been going on, the hardest part for me with the Heisman anymore, and this has been the case for I'd say the better part of 10 to 15 years, a lot of it is PR anymore. Yeah. Unfortunately, when it comes to that award, you're not necessarily giving it to who I think is the best player in college football.
Well, who do you think is the best player in college football?
I would give it to Genty, but I think Hunter
Ashton
will.
Genty,
yeah, I think Hunter will probably win it.
Okay.
Yeah, I think, and again, not to take nothing away from Gabriel. These guys are all phenomenal players. Right. But and to me, I think the consistency that he's had through the year, and look, you got to play what's in front of you. I get that. This is an 11-1 team. They're one game. He didn't play, but nobody played bad in that game. You lose 3 points.
2,497 yards, 7.3 yards a carry.
Yeah, it's hard for me to.
This year. Yeah, he's a terrific.
But the unfortunate
running back.
Well, not the unfortunate part, but the one part that I think you have so much outside of the game in Boulder that is in favor of Travis Hunter. You have a coach that obviously has the spotlight on him every 5 seconds. You have a team that has the spotlight on them because of that. And when they're not on the field, they have a lot more around them. And that's why that goes back to my point. Like in 2017, I'd have voted Saquon Barkley.
Right.
To me, that guy was the best player in college football. But unfortunately, you don't have the PR presence that you have on a lot of other major teams. And that's, I think, the unfortunate part of it. I think Tim Tebow should have won at least 2 Heisman trophies. He didn't because, again, I feel like it's more who can we promote? And that's not, I'm not talking about college football. I'm talking about as a whole. Who can we promote that can be the Heisman Trophy winner. Does it give an award to one of the best in the? Does the Heisman Trophy winner be one of the 3 to 5 best in the game that year? Yes, but I'm not sure the best players won it every year.
Well, okay. I'll say this for Hunter. He plays at a high level at both sides of the ball, and he's playing about 105 plays a game, which is something nobody else is doing, to his credit. I also think that Mark Jones, who's going to be doing the Penn State game, has done a brilliant job of hyping him all year.
Exactly. And that's my point. Everybody's hyping him because of
I don't know how many Colorado games those guys do this year. I'm talking about those two guys. Talking about Mark Jones, Roddy Jones.
Yeah, quite a few.
I mean, I don't know. It's coming here to see these two teams is going to be shocked. Oh, okay. But I mean, there's no doubt that he has been hyped, and ESPN and that broadcast crew has hyped him to the limit. Does he make mistakes? Yeah. Does anybody ever talk about his mistakes? No. Like, okay. But to play at a high level like that on both sides of the ball, to play about 105 plays a game, which nobody else is doing, credit where credit's due. Believe me, if he wins it, I'm not going to sit there and...
No, I'm not going to say he doesn't deserve it. Not at all. But
Not because you're a hater.
No.
I mean, I got it. You're a hater.
But I still think the point you made, I think he gets more hype. And again, where he plays does help.
You can admit you're a hater.
Let's flip the script and put Hunter in Boise State. Let's put Genty in Colorado, who wins the Heisman. I think it's the opposite.
Oh, no, yeah. They'd be promoting him to the hilt.
Exactly.
Without question. And that is a part of this, is the amount of promotion done by the network.
Absolutely.
Now, Genty gets... Okay, let's start with this. What network carries the Mountain West? Primarily. CBS Sports.
CBS.
Yeah. Doesn't sound like ESPN, does it?
No.
No. I'm telling you, this has something to do with it.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
I'm telling you.
Yeah, there's no doubt. Yeah, there's absolutely no question. And that's backs the other point I made. I think that, to me, it again is, I don't want to say it's fully a hype train. I don't want to take credit away from the guys that have won it because they've deserved it in a lot of ways, but I don't feel like in the last decade and a half, at least, that the best player in college football has won it some years.
Well, I'm going to go back to the negotiations for TV. And I'd said at the time that I would have at least one mini package where ESPN had it. Why? Because you don't want to be the NHL. The NHL for years was not on ESPN. On SportsCenter, how often did you see hockey highlights?
Not often at all, if at all.
Then they get the contract back.
Uh-huh.
Even on the bottom line now, McDavid, great.
Mm-hmm.
Before they just put the scores up. Yeah. Okay, great. I mean, that is... we don't do that. Yeah, you do.
No, they certainly do. They're full of it.
They
absolutely do. When they didn't have the NBA contract, they were that way. They'd show the Bulls highlights, but they didn't show. And this was 25 years ago by now. But
yeah, you do.
No. 30 years ago, they did that with the NBA too. They might show you a guy scoring 50. They might show you the Bulls. They didn't show you every game like they do now. Yeah, they absolutely did it.
I mean, it's like. Okay, this is not meant to be political, so please. But it's like when you're being told, hey, everything's going great. Like, I just went to the grocery store. I don't. You can't tell people like their own experience.
No, yeah.
People are sitting at home
I
watching
agree.
this going,
Yeah.
okay, where are the NHL games? Where's the, okay, I don't understand why they don't carry it.
Yep.
Right?
I agree.
There's a lot of wasted banter between Elle Duncan and whomever she's co-anchoring with. Like, that just, like, I don't want to hear it. Doesn't make any sense. And where are the highlights? No. It's amazing. By the way, Al Michaels expected to return to Thursday Night Football next year. So, yeah, I like Al.
I do too. And there's times you have to be honest, and he's honest.
No,
That's really the biggest part of it.
He's realistic as to what's going on out there. He's seen it, been there, done that. He trusts his eyes.
I like the team. I like having Herb Street with him. I think Herb Street does an excellent job.
I think they've grown together.
I have. I agree.
And it takes a while sometimes. I mean, a lot of that stuff's arranged marriages, which is like I think should be a goal of yours.
That's right.
What? I'm just trying to help you out. Right? Just give it a shot. No? Bad? I think Herb Street's done a better job of managing his schedule. I think the first year was whoa. Did you see the Columbus radio guys went after Herb Street?
Really?
Because he made the comment about, like, the Ohio State fans could boo their own team. And I guess the station he worked at in Columbus, like, the guys went on the air and they, like, eviscerated him. Oh, he's nice to your face, behind your back. Like, what?
That's... So it was okay what happened in Columbus when they played their rival the last game of the year. You didn't have to boo him there at all, right?
It's like, have you ever met Herb Street?
Yeah.
Right.
Heck of a guy.
Right. And, for the most part, he says nice things about you. So, I mean, what?
I try. He's a great guy.
I mean, Herb Street, to me, is knowledgeable.
Yeah.
He's smart. And it's always been great to be around him.
Mm-hmm.
I've always enjoyed being around him. I just think he's a really terrific guy to talk to.
Yeah.
Just to talk, not just football, but about anything. I think I read this stuff. I'm like going, obviously I didn't work with him at the station.
Right.
Right? Because, I mean, you rip the management here all the time. I don't know how you keep, some of the things you've said in the hallway. I mean, I don't know how you're still sitting here. You keep saying, I'm just being honest. It's like, oh, God. I'm out there defending Jerry, and you just ripping him to shreds. I mean, it's like, oh, my goodness. No wonder he wants to come back. Pays him $15 million a year.
There you go. That'll do it.
They ever tell you the Roy Firestone joke? Roy Firestone, who hosted a talk show on ESPN for years and years and years and years, up close. If you ever see the movie Jerry Maguire, that's Roy Firestone doing the interview.
Yeah.
I'm talking about the fans who may not realize. Well, Roy Firestone does phenomenal impersonations. Phenomenal. So he does this impersonation of Keith Jackson. He goes, college football. What does college football mean to me? Ooh, about $5 million a year contractually.
Nice. That's awesome.
It's like, okay. This Al's getting, $15 million a year. I'd go back too.
No doubt.
He said in September, I suspect that sometime during the year I'll have a better feeling of what it's like. But my feeling is if I can live up to the standard I expect for myself, then I'll want to continue, that's important. Okay? If I can't, then I'll have to think about it in another way. I don't want to go out, as Howard Cosell used to say, a shadow of your former self. Are you going to come back and do State Night Football next year?
I believe so. If they want me back, you betcha.
You read that quote again for you. I don't want to go out, as Howard Cosell would say, as a shadow of my former self. Do you want to be back next year? I'm kidding. We have the ability here to have fun, everybody. We have the ability to have fun at each other's expense. Now, if he makes fun of me, I storm out. I'm just
That's right.
Very
That's right.
I'm very temperamental.
That's right.
So yeah. Yeah. And by the way, he and Kirk will be doing a playoff game. It's not Peacock this year. It is Amazon. I mean, that was, no offense, that was absurd last year.
Especially the game you put on. Made it even more absurd.
Dolphins and Chiefs. I'm like, what are you, now, did I end up watching the game? Yeah. Was it a fun game to watch because it was 4 below 0 and it looked
and
like
a Miami team playing in it?
It looked like Arrowhead was the moon. Yeah, I mean, it was a fun game to watch, but they cut off 17 million people. It's a success. It's not a success.
No.
The idea is to get maximum viewership for your product, and they failed.
I agree.
Because they tried to force something down your throat that not everybody wanted or could afford. I know it's only $7 a month. I got it. Ornaments.
The ornaments got enough of us insulting them, or what?
Oh, yeah. Kind of settling in here. Hey.
That's the most movement I've seen out of those ornaments.
We have hooks. It took weeks, but we got hooks.
I think the one thing they, in their minds, and this is, again, I think the NFL has arrogance to it, without a doubt, because, a little bit. Just a bit. Just quite a bit.
Not the
but
NFL. See, this is where you go too far.
That's right.
Too far.
Went too far with it. But I think ultimately their attitude was, hey, Taylor Swift's going to be at this game. We could get every bit of our young audience to subscribe to Peacock, and the young audience is going to tell their older audience, which doesn't believe in streaming whatsoever, that this is why streaming's great, so we're going to get every subscriber we can get. It didn't work. People said, the heck with you. They had other things to do on a Saturday night than watch,
but you know what
than
does
subscribe
work?
to Peacock.
Prime Video, we're so used. I watched Thursday Night Football. Was it the 49ers and Rams this week?
Yep.
Right, so I won't be watching that trash.
That's right.
But I mean, your team's playing, right?
They are.
Trash.
They are.
All right, so, no, I'll watch it on Thursday night.
Yeah.
I mean, I watch, I'd say 3 out of 4 Thursdays, depending on what my schedule is. I enjoy watching it. Broadcast is great. They do a great job all the way through. Games have been much better on there. I agree with you. They probably should have taken these 2 games and done a doubleheader on Thursday night to set up the Christmas Day games next week and left Saturday of the college football playoff. I don't understand why you do that to your feeder system.
No.
But it's the NFL. They do whatever they want whenever they want. NBA on Christmas Day? No, a contrary.
No, you're not wrong. And that for the NBA, that is basic. I don't want to say it's their Super Bowl. It's pretty darn close. I think the NBA and Christmas Day is.
I mean, for them, it's not opening day, but it's opening day.
Exactly.
Okay.
It's the day where a lot of people look, and you have all eyes on your sport.
Like I said, I'm going to do it. I'm going to watch the game.
Especially the first game. I gotta watch that.
I'm going to watch
first game.
Both games.
Yeah.
I mean, what the heck? I think it's going to be entertaining to watch.
Yep.
And
Steelers have struggled with Mahomes. I think that's going to be the interesting part of it. Of course, I could say insert about 25 other teams too, but
usually by the time you get to 1 o'clock in the afternoon on Christmas Day,
you're kind of sitting back.
Presents have been open.
Absolutely.
Now, you get so many.
I'm open on 29th.
I mean, it doesn't end to you at the end of the week.
That's right.
Cripe, I mean, what are we doing here? It must be great to be loved the way you are. Did you get my gift last year?
I think FedEx said that somebody stole it. I couldn't believe it.
Feel awful about that.
Intercepted at household attempting to mail or something like that.
But most people have opened up their gifts, and now
right.
you're into the afternoon where let's put the bike together. Let's
Sure.
get the electronics to
house
start
or Barbie
working,
house or whatever. Yeah.
things like that. Yeah, and then maybe have something to eat, whatever. So look, it makes sense.
Yeah.
I remember Green Bay played the Browns a couple of years ago on Christmas Day. I sat there and watched it. Why? Because it was there, and I thought, hey, this looks pretty good.
Yeah.
You know? It was a little later in the day. It was great.
Yeah.
I mean, the Hawaii Bowl is the night before, and I don't really care who's playing in it. But will I watch a quarter of it?
Yeah, I watch it.
Sure, it's at night.
Yeah.
Everything on Christmas Eve is settled down. Like, I may watch, like, It's a Wonderful Life or something like that. You're kind of like the Lionel Barrymore character. In fact, you were walking through the hallway the other day, they go, oh, look, Mr. Potter. No. No. I mean, Jerry Valeri is Ernie the cab driver. Joe is Bert the cop.
We don't fully have It's a Wonderful Life, so we don't have a star on the tree.
Hey. Chris Forsey in the Sheldon Leonard role.
Oh boy.
In the bar. Nick. I'm handing out wings. You see Forsey now. I'm handing out wings.
That's right. Be more authoritative on it.
Let's see. Who would we get to play Mr. Martini? Let's see. Roger's out. Bob Steele definitely is out. I mean, Kyle, that doesn't quite work for Kyle.
I'm sure it works for Urban.
No.
Almost going to have to be Jeff Brown.
Oh. Yeah, well, yeah.
He's not a perfect match, but he's by default here. I'm trying to think if there's anybody else who could play. Flying Brian.
Because to be honest with you, a lot in this station, there are a lot of people in the role of extras. So, and Jason Lord as Mr. Potter. Scrawny life insurance policy. You're worth more dead than alive. One of the great lines ever.
Oh, that is one of the...
Right, what are we doing here? Oh, no. Jeff Brown as Clarence.
Yes, I agree.
Jeff Brown as Clarence.
Yeah, yes.
Right?
Yep.
And we'll put Kyle in the role of the guy that is sitting there after Clarence pulls him out of the river and he's running the lock. Right? And he says, how old? He says, I passed away in this clothes. He says, how long ago was that? 212 years ago. I'm like, he falls back.
You're going to have to put the ladies now in spots.
I know.
Angela's going to have a spot.
Oh, she'll be in the Donna Reed role.
She's in Donna Reed? Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
She fits that. She does. I would agree.
You know?
If Cindy, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, still have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see. Urban, I would put in the role of the guy, of Mr. Welsh in the bar that decks Jimmy Stewart. Hey, how dare you talk to my wife like that? Bang! Okay. Right?
I think that fits.
Yeah. What the heck? Right. But again, you as Mr. Potter.
Mr. Potter.
It's incredible. Really.
Oh man, I think Herman fits that.
You know,
what Lord?
Roger would be the father.
Yeah, I can see that.
Sitting there at the table, he says, "No, George, you should go out and live your own life." You know, I thought of that movie, by the way, at the 2008 Rose Bowl. Because we did the pep rally on the high school football field at Beverly Hills High School, and that's where the swimming pool is.
Okay.
The swimming pool was inside the building. I didn't go in the building. But I was looking around going, hey, this is where they filmed the swimming pool scene. And this pool is still there, by the way. It's, from my understanding, is the pool's still there.
So it's not like the Olympic pool, which disintegrates after 2 years.
You know what? In 1990, I'm at the Coliseum, and I looked out the back at the Olympic pool, and it was in it was in need of, a lot of TLC.
It doesn't surprise me.
Not now. Now, I guess they're going to do swimming at SoFi, okay? But I want to tell you, this pool that they have at USC that's in the back of the Coliseum, the Olympic swimming pool, it is spectacular. They turned it into a stadium. I don't understand why they're not having it there. I'm confused. It's gorgeous. That old complex, it's not just the Coliseum. Okay, the Coliseum's the center of it. I got it. But the Olympic swimming pool in the back is now a stadium, and it's gorgeous. The Lucas Center, right? The Lucas Center, which would be in the press box to the left, gigantic. And then you look to the right, which is the Cauldron side of the Coliseum, the Space Shuttle Endeavour.
Nice.
It's really, what they've done there is fabulous, right? Your idea of a tribute to Mickey Mouse got shelved.
I tell you. Absolute historical figure.
And somebody said, why
in two parts of the country,
why does he love Mickey Mouse? I said, because every team he roots for is a Mickey Mouse organization.
That's right. There it is.
It took me 2 minutes to set that joke up. 2 minutes. Jerry Valeri is Ernie the cab driver.
There you go.
What do you think? Huh?
I think it fits.
I got in the cab. Our version of It's a Wonderful Life.
That's right.
My friend, thoroughly enjoyed the hour. Thank